Hey there, TNA fam. We're back here at the impzonepod podcast to talk more TNA wrestling shenanigans. And here I want to talk about how much say will the new AMC partners have in the booking, etc. of TNA. Now, I don't think that they should have complete say in things or whatever, because the understanding of what pro wrestling is and laying out pro wrestling and saying, okay, sure, that's what you say the audience wants, and that's perhaps the direction that we'll go in. That is definitely helpful. And there are times that I do think that they should absolutely listen as well, but I do think that saying, hey, well, we've got our own story or our own thing or our own direction to kind of say, this is how we're going to achieve what you're seeing in terms of numbers. If they start seeing like Santana's really hot or whoever's really hot, this person's really hot, this person, when they're on the screen or when these matches are on the screen, there's more attention paid than whatever anything else. So we really want to see this person or that person or this thing or that thing, pushed, because that's what's increasing our audience, increasing our ad revenue, increasing everything. So again, more of this, more of that, more of this. Less of this, less of that. Not none, but yes, less of this, less of that. Like saying, here's some things that we've noticed, or here's the data, or whatever, that will be very helpful. And saying, hey, this is what we want, or this is something that we want. Absolutely. I think saying, hey, for numbers and for whatever, absolutely. Saying, hey, even if you're saying, hey, well, we'll give you a half and half, we'll meet you halfway. You say Mike Santana's really hot. Okay, cool. So we'll have him featured more, or whatever else it is. We'll see more of him. We'll see him doing more things. The Hardys are really hot. Okay, we'll see more of them, on a weekly basis or whatever it is. Whoever's getting really hot, they can focus in on them. Not just say, hey, here's a title match and we'll put the belt on you or whatever else it is. No, we'll focus in on you and we'll do more with you, or we'll put you into positions that hopefully you'll be more successful in. This story's really taking off. That story's really taking off. Whatever it is. This character's really taking off. Not just merch numbers, but like quarter-hour reviews and whatnot will be very helpful. But yeah, I don't think that they should have any kind of complete say in like the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month running of like the program, because, or perhaps they should be explained to say, hey, look, that's great and all, but this is what we're trying to do. And this is where we're trying to go. So we're going to take that under advisement. Absolutely. We're not just saying fuck off and don't tell us what to do or whatever. But we're saying, hey, well, we are, we that's great that Mike Santana's getting over, or this person's getting over, or that person's like really shifting the numbers or whatever else it is. Okay, cool. We will, keep going in that direction. What will we do with that person? That's up to us, but we will feature them more, and we will take that into note that, this person's getting really, a lot of momentum or whatever else it is. So that helps us out to plan who will be next or what will be next or what have you. But yeah, again, we're not just going to say, hey, we're going to bend to your absolute, say so in what we're doing. But if you're telling us things that we didn't know, or helping out the product by saying, hey, this person's getting really hot, or that person's getting really hot, or whatever it is, that really helps. But yeah, like we, if we're already going in that direction, or we're already doing what we can do with that person, then it's like, well, yeah, sure, but at a certain point we can't do much more with them. Otherwise we risk overexposing that person, or we risk overexposing this thing. So yeah, we've got to be smart with these things. Try to give people enough of a taste of things so that they're satiated for a week or whatever else it is, but they're not bored of it, or they're not getting tired of it, or it's not getting repetitive, or whatever else it is. So people are still invested. That's the difference. They've got to make them understand, hey, even if that's the case, even if that's what you recommend to us, well, maybe we'll take some of that under advisement or whatever, but at the end of the day, we know what we've got to do, because we know how, perhaps if they get really bad ratings by not listening to them, they might have to listen a bit more here and there or whatever. But I do feel like, yeah, and that will help. Like I said, when you've got a broadcasting partner. Now, before they had a broadcasting partner, but they could get away with basically doing whatever they wanted, because Access would just keep giving them a home. But even though they might have this deal for 3 years, they know that they've got to hit it out of the park, and they've got to try to meet the expectations of the network. So, and I know that's another reason why they're on later at night, because they know, hey, this is not the most family friendly thing in the world. So let's put it a little bit later on at night, and you want to get a little bit more risque or whatever with things, or a little bit more violent with things. Okay, cool, that's great. So we put it on a little bit later so that most of the kids have gone to bed or whatever else it is, or at least they're pretending to go to bed or whatever else it is, and they're streaming it in their room and their parents don't know or whatever, and all of that, but whatever. Those sorts of things that, kids do. We did that as kids. We did all kinds of things, staying up late and whatnot, or getting up early and things like that to watch things that we shouldn't have watched or whatever else it was, or stayed up late to watch things that we probably shouldn't have watched or whatever it was. All that sort of stuff. All that sort of stuff happened. But yeah, I'm not really going to talk about too much of that stuff, I suppose. But it is funny how things, no matter how they change, they stay the same sort of thing, somewhat. But yeah, no, if you have that notice of people are tuning in more so to see these things, or people are tuning out to not see these sorts of things, that will be something that they have to take notice of, and saying, hey, we're losing interest with this, or we're losing interest with that. Okay, cool. Maybe we can't literally cut this at the kneecaps or whatever else it is, or whatever, if it's going really bad or whatnot, but we have to think about moving away from this as quickly as possible. That's an indicator for you, and that's what AEW did. They didn't do that. They did the opposite. They went, nah, we don't care, we're just going to funnel away money. It's Tony's money, he can funnel it away. That's not smart. You're just funneling away money for no reason and alienating your audience. You should be going, okay, they're not liking this, or they're not liking that, or this is not resonating anymore. It's not as fresh as it was anymore. Something's changed. People want something different. Let's give it to them. Let's find a way to give them what they want. What are the things that they want? Right. Let's pivot that way as quickly as possible. Because in this business, again, that's the thing, it's a business. So the network, they don't care what's making money or what's getting people to tune in or whatever else it is, but they know what's getting people to tune in. So saying, hey, this is what's getting people to tune in, we want to see more of that or more of this. Okay, cool. We probably will try to make amends for that and say, hey, this person and that person are really getting over, or whatever else it is. But we've still got a direction to go in, and we still have to promote other things and whatnot. We can't just promote Mike Santana every 5 minutes. That doesn't work, because eventually people will go, oh my God, this guy's on every 5 minutes. I'm sick of this guy, whatever. It doesn't matter who it is, that's overexposure, people are getting sick of this person, and it becomes the Cena wins lol situation, or the, Roman wins lol syndrome, or whatever it is. If somebody wins too much and people are starting to be like a little bit like, oh man, I'm getting sick of this person, they're a bit overexposed, or whatever else it is, whatnot. The more that they win, it starts becoming like, oh, Santana wins lol. Especially if it doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, okay, he can lose a TV match, he can lose a tag team match, he can lose some matches here and there and not really lose anything, because, like, hey, you need to put somebody over just that little bit so that when they do challenge, there's that little bit of jeopardy or whatever else it is to say, hey, they beat this person in a tag team match or in a non-title match or in some other match recently or whatever else it was. Oh shit, what? They might win the belt. They're not going to win the belt probably, but they might. Who knows? Yeah. So, yeah, those are the sorts of things that will help them out, and I think it will help them be more accountable to the fans and to the people that actually make the dollars and the cents and whatnot that make this thing work. Because if you're producing things that the network says, hey, this isn't drawing the eyeballs, or whatever, that's where you've got to start saying, well, that's what we've got to cut. We've got to make it, cut time from it, or we've got to make it more interesting, or we've got to put more effort into it. We can't just keep phoning it in, or we can't just keep going, oh, well, we've only got one set of female tag teams or whatever else it is besides the people that are actually the champions to challenge them. And the same thing for the X division. Besides the champion, we only really have one or two other people in this division, and they've already all been beat by the champion. So, again, yes, we need major players. I said that before, but we have some major players. But it's also saying every division needs to feel like it's on fire. There's not like there's a million people there or whatever else it is. But it's like, oh man, there's all these great teams there all these great X division guys there. There's all these other people to be like, oh man, like, how's Leon going to beat these people? And they're all getting built up, and they're all feeling like, oh, they could beat Leon at any minute. Or maybe he's going to WWE, maybe. I don't know. But still, even so, you might be thinking, oh, well, he might lose that belt soon because he might be going to WWE. Even that, it might be a thing, for people to be like, gaining that, like, oh, is Leon going to lose it now? Is Leon going to lose it now? Oh, and then just, sort of, what do you call it? Like, yeah, swerving people in that way, making them think, oh man, Leon finally lost the X Division title or whatever it was. Obviously he's going to WWE now, but he turns up next week, or he turns up in a couple of weeks or something, or whatever else it is. When it's a good swerve, it's like, oh, he's back, and he's going to challenge for the world title, or he's going to challenge for the, international title, or he's going to challenge for the tag titles, or it's something else, or whatever else it is. Okay, cool, great. Now you're pleasantly surprised. He didn't go to WWE. That's cool. He's staying with TNA. Cool. Whatever else it is. It's like, okay, cool. We're going to see this guy for a few more months, maybe a full year, whatever it is, and see what he can do, building up in that upper mid card area, from now until whenever. And then we'll see what comes out of that, So that's a good swerve sometimes. There's good swerves and there's bad swerves. The bad swerves are like, swerves people don't want, or too many of them, or whatever else it is, or whatnot, that sort of thing. And you can't alienate this audience, like I say, especially now. Like, this is your chance. I've said this so many times, I have to keep saying it, but, this AMC debut, this is the time that you've got to stick the landing and say, okay, cool. At least for a few months, we're going to be abhorrent to the fans and abhorrent to the network, which is effectively abhorrent to the fans. Because the fans who tune in and watch and want to see something or want to see whatever it is, those are the people that we've got to please. And even, for longer than that, but especially for the first 6 months or whatever it is, maybe saying, hey, we're in a good position and we're going to keep doing the things that people want for a few months. We might turn away from that a little bit and then say, okay, we'll put the belt on maybe Mustafa Ali or maybe AJ Francis or maybe somebody else or something else or whatever it is. But, we've got other people to challenge Mustafa Ali, and it'll be exciting and interesting, and you'll get to see all these other things or whatever else it is, along that journey or whatever else it is. So it's not just, we're not doing what the fans want. We're trying to provide them with something to root for, or some other elevation of, some of the other talent. Because again, we want, like, even if WWE does get Leon or does get whoever or whatever, it's like, well, at least we've done our best job to put this person over and put our mark on that person, or whatever else it is. And they're not going to get everyone. They can't get everyone. It's not feasible. They've got so many people that are there that in WWE and AEW now that they don't even know what to do with. Same situation if they were going to, potentially go to AEW. But yeah, like, anyone can go to WWE, obviously, or AEW. But again, maybe at least with WWE, you might be like, well, they might push me. They can see how good I am and whatnot, and they've seen this whole run with me in TNA or whatever, and so they'll see me as a valuable asset. And plus, I'll be able to show them, hey, look, these are my quarterly hour reports type thing, like, not that that's part of your resume type thing, but it is one of those things of saying, oh, look, yeah, when he's on every quarter hour, when he is on, it's like, oh, yeah, they're up, and his merch is up, and this is up, and whatever else. It's not just that, but it is like saying, hey, look, I could be something on your show before you get me. Like, it is a bit different with Leon because he's already kind of been on those shows, so you can kind of see where he's at in those demographics. But if it's somebody else, you might be like, oh, okay, is this person really worth our time, besides just personality wise or whatever else it is, or if we like them or whatever. No. Do they have good merch sales? Are they a draw, even just to get eyeballs on them or whatever else it is? That sort of thing. That sort of matters to us because that's the business that we're in. It's a business at the end of the day, whether people like it or not. Like, we've got to make money in this, and that's the way it is. So yeah, but yeah, I do think that they should have some say in, or at least some collaboration in saying, hey, this is what we're seeing, or these are the numbers, and this is the money, and this or that, or whatever else it is, etc. So we feel like you should be going in this direction, etc. But they shouldn't have the last little say in everything. They unless it's like dire circumstances, or it's like, oh man, our numbers are plummeting, and this, that, or whatever else it is. We need to turn this thing around now. You need to do something now with somebody, and you need to do it with somebody like this person, that person, or this person, right? Okay, go. Do it now. Like, that will help them, because it will be like, again, the fans get to decide what is, like, and again, like, that does, mean that it's more geared towards the casual audience and not the diehard audience somewhat sometimes, but, yeah, that will be good for the product overall, because the casual fans usually like the most popular people sometimes, which can be a detriment, but also can be like helpful, so just knowing what your go is the best thing, and knowing, hey, yeah, we get what you're saying or whatever, but and we're going to take that into advisement, or we're going to plan around saying, oh yes, these people are really important, or these guys are, obviously you think that the Hardys are really important and people like the Hardys or whatever else it is or whatnot, or people like or know about, Mustafa Ali, or they know about like Cedric Alexander, they know the major stars perhaps, or whatever else it is. They might know or have heard of Leon, or they might have heard of some of the other guys that are in the company, but they might not have really seen much of them. So again, like presenting everybody, and you can't like present literally everybody, but you have to present your main sort of people, because it's like this is the sort of wrestlers and performers that we have. We want to put our best of best sort of front and center, so that people can get a sense and a feeling of, okay, this is who we have and this is what we have and what they offer. But yeah, like you're just guessing with who you think is hot or cold or whatever. That's more based on like history or historics or whatever else it is, or just like in person, in arena, crowd reception or whatever, not, TV numbers. And certainly like converting to TV numbers is sometimes a bit of a thing or whatever else it is. But it's like, at least it's something that, you can try to work with when you're like working with people in the arenas and showcasing some of these talent in the right way, or they're showcasing themselves in the right way, or whatever else it is. So yeah, but anyway guys, I do think that the network has to have like some input, but I don't think that they should, like, they can be in on the creative and be like, oh, that sounds cool, or here's this idea that we have, or they can help pitch ideas, but ultimately the decision should come down to like, okay, yes, okay, cool. You say Santana's hot, you say this person's hot, or whatever. Okay, cool. In 3 months or whatever it is, or in a month, we'll build this match between this person and that person, or that person and this person, or whatever else it is. So that will be good. But like, that's something that we need to do. That's a story and a place that we need to get to, not just this is your idea and do it now. That's not how wrestling kind of works. You've got to finish up what you're doing and then start doing something, and then you say, okay, well, this person really hasn't been on TV for a few weeks or whatever it's been, whatnot, etc. So okay, cool, we've got to put this person on TV and start building them up little by little, and then go from there. Not just say, okay, you're the world champion tomorrow or whatever else it is. And then if you get another report out in a few weeks' time or whatever else it is, and I don't know how fast these things come out, but like that sort of thing. If something comes out and it's like, oh, that spiked the numbers, but now they're down. Of course they're going to be down a little bit, because now we've done the thing, you've done the thing that people wanted to see. So now it's like, oh, okay, that's why you hold off on some of these things, so that people keep tuning in and that audience builds and builds and builds until it sort of crescendos and everyone that you can possibly get is tuned in and is ready for this thing to happen with this person or that person or whatever else it is. So that's the way to build the audience, not just to say, oh, well, this would do great numbers if we did this next week or whatever else, or in this month or at the end of the month or whatever. That's cool and that's great. But if we do that, then we're blowing our load, quote unquote, too early, so to speak. So instead of doing that, let's build this up for 3 months, 6 months, or whatever it is, or even a year or whatever it is. And then we'll get to it at the end of that period of time, and then people, like, even more people will be tuning in and rabid, especially if we build it up right. We build this person and we build this person and we build this person or this team or whatever else it is, And people are like, oh my God, the Hardys are going to do it. The Hardys are finally going to do it. Or whoever's going to finally get back to the thing. Or this person's going to do it. Da 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 da. And then it's like, they do it. Or whatever. So there's always more reason for people to tune into everything. Otherwise, you've lost your audience. Because you said, oh, well, we did that, turned around on that too quickly. We were too beholden to the network saying this is what we want. Or this is what we see that the fans want. Yes, that's cool, but we need to drag it out. We need to drag it out so more people care. And more people care. And more people care until no more people can care or whatever. And then we'll get it there at the peak, at the absolute peak. So that everyone's as interested as possible. Because as soon as we do it, the numbers will fall off fairly quickly afterward. So, yeah. It is worth saying this is the way that things work. It comes in ebbs and flows at times or whatever. And it's better to build things up and get to your end of season or to a certain point that you need to, so that then when you get to either your new season or your end of season or what next end of season or whatever else it is, or whatever, your next big event, that people are now ready for something else. Like once Mike Santana has done his thing or whatever else it is, people are like, oh my God, but now we want to see this. Oh my God, we want to see that. And to get that, we've got to go this way, or we've got to go that way, or whatever it is. It's not just saying we're giving the people exactly what we want or they want. It's saying, hey, well, to get there, we've got to go this way, or we've got to go that way. Or this is our best option to get to that person, or to get to that story, or to get to that idea, is through this person or that person. So, and that takes time. Not just saying, oh, well, we'll do it and do it tomorrow, because then we lose more interest by just doing it now. We gain more interest by saying, let's hold off until it's at the peak and let's then do it. Okay. But anyway, guys, I know you guys all know this or whatever, but still it's interesting to go through and important to go through as we build up to the AMC debut. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you join me again in another one.